You know, thinking about it, the concepts of superheroes in video games sound like something that should really go well together. I mean, after all, the protagonist of video games usually is a kind of superhero in his own right, or at least he has some form of superpowers. You can make the case that Kratos is a more violent Thor, Sonic obviously has super speed, although a good game in the last 10 years is another story, or something like Legend of Zelda, where you gather enough gadgets to essentially become medieval Batman if Batman wore a green tunic and people constantly called him Zelda. But my point is that putting superheroes in the video game format is something that really ought to be simple. And there are some good ones. The genre is extremely hit and miss, however. You get some truly great ones like Marvel Ultimate Alliance series or The Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction, which is not only my personal favorite for superhero games, but one of my favorite video games, period. And then you have your Superman 64s, your Thor, the latest Green Lantern. Now yes, you could argue that those last two suffer from a case of movie tie-in-itis, but there are a lot of bad superhero games. So is today's one of them? Let's talk about The Incredible Hulk for the Super Nintendo and find out. The Incredible Hulk was a 1994 title released on the Super Nintendo, the Sega Genesis, the Sega Master System, and the Sega Game Gear. The story is basic, and you're not really told any of it going in. Basically, the leader is up to nefarious shenanigans, and you have to ram your Gamma-powered fist down his throat. Now, you'd think that the Hulk would be great for this era of gaming, obviously, beat-em-up style characters, and oh my god, what is with his walking? Oh man, that has got to be the least appropriate movement style for a character ever. I mean, what goes better with it sound-wise? This? Or this?
Hulk says, "Good day, sir. You will not like Hulk when he's flummoxed."
Okay, I should talk about the actual game, which oddly enough is a side-scrolling platformer and not a beat-em-up, which is instantly baffling. Your health bar is divided into sections, starting out at the dark green. Any lower than that in the magenta and you turn back into Bruce Banner. If you manage to find health, you can get to bright green, then basically white, which represents just how hulked out you are. At a lighter green, the Hulk gets a Thunderclap, a slow but powerful move that will basically KO anything on the screen. At the white, he gets double punching and gains a charging attack that rushes you across the screen, smashing literally any obstacle in your path. And if you're wondering why you don't just charge across the screen all the time if it's that powerful, good for you. Seriously, this move is beyond broken and tears through your enemy like tissue paper. I guess there are two downsides, one being that if there's water, you'll charge directly into it and drown, since even though the Hulk can take missiles to the face, he's not ready for deep into the local swimming pool. The second is that while normal bullets and rockets really don't do all that much to you in terms of damage, they can still interrupt your charge. Still, if there's no threat of water, you may as well just throw your shoulder forward and plow through everything. Even the first mini-boss, Abomination, is totally helpless to stop your mighty charge attack. And look at this! I don't even feel like I'm winning a fight, I feel like I'm just mugging someone. Your enemies fall into three categories: light hitter, heavy hitter, and artillery. Sure, there's some variation on what forms those take, but sometimes just gunners and rocket launchers, other times with tridents and weird-looking wall head things, but honestly, it's all just the same enemies with different skins, so who cares? What annoys me the most are the guys with the rocket launchers, since 99% of the time there is no way to avoid getting hit by them at least once or twice. They fire a rocket the instant you get on their level, and if you're leaping up from the lower platform, well then you just have to take it to the teeth. Things like that get especially annoying since once they manage to whittle your health down to Bruce Banner levels, you change back into a human, which would require you to sneak around until you can find some health boost to Hulk out again. You can find guns as Banner, but they all have 2 bullets left and they do so little damage that I think they may just be pellet guns. So yeah, what do I think of this game? It's really not bad at all. Okay, yeah, the enemies are repetitive, but it's an SNES platformer, what do you want? The moves at higher levels of health are OP, but that really does encourage you to explore optional areas to find more. Turning into Bruce Banner is annoying if you don't want to, but sometimes you'll find these tranquilizer pills, I guess, which allow you to turn back of your own volition. If this seems useless, it's actually not, because many times you'll find small tunnels that may lead to health or bonus items that the Hulk is too big to fit through. The guns are useless against enemies, but I think they're more for the crates you find because Banner, since he's not the Hulk, can't destroy them like the Hulk can. And besides, you're the Hulk. You should feel like you're dishing out absurd amounts of damage to your normal enemies, that's kind of the point. The game does have some real flaws, however. I've already mentioned the rocket launching guys who don't really do a lot of damage, but I just hate it when you can't avoid getting hit in games, especially if you're just trying to sneak by as Banner because your health is low. It's also a really short game with only 5 bosses and levels. And of course there's the Hulk walk.
Hulk will not hesitate to smash, my good man.
So yeah, that's the Incredible Hulk, and it's a pretty solid game. If you have the chance, I would say check it out. Yes, it's a bit on the shorter side, but with the repetitive nature of the enemies, that's more of a plus than anything else. Now, I say that this is a good game. Savor that, because when talking about superhero video games, that is not a repeating theme. As always, please check out my blog at geekosaursmike.blogspot.com, and of course, please subscribe. Thank you.